Newsted here, and you are watching BraveWords Bloody Knuckles. Check it out.
All right, Metal Tim from BraveWords.com and LoudGuitars sitting here with none other than Mr. Jason Newsted of Newsted.
Woo!
I've got a funny story for you because the last time we were this close together was at the Snake Pit at the CNE when Metallica opened up for Guns N' Roses and Faith No More. So, and I can see it way over there. So we were that close, and I was staring at you from underneath the stage. So it's nice to hang out again. And there's been a lot of water underneath the bridge to get us to this point right now.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago, so that was a little while ago. Yeah, you must have been about 3?
13.
Oh, okay.
13.
I was close. Off by 10.
Now the kids apparently are to credit for this big comeback, you kind of being rejuvenated and getting into the emotional state of making, well, getting this project out. Explain that to us.
Well, the fans, the kids, as you put it, are responsible for everything. Not just this particular thing, but anything that's happened in the last 30 years, pretty much for me. Yeah, you know, I got invited to play the 30th anniversary of Metallica in December of 2011 in San Francisco, and I hadn't been in it for a long, long time. You know, it's been 10 years since I was out with Ozzy on Ozfest, and Voivod and all that kind of stuff. So being in the thick of it, it's been a decade. I have been making records and, you know, studio stuff of Voivod and some other things like that, but this is the first time I've really been on tour and learning so much about what's going on out here. So it's about tasting that feeling, like remembering what it felt like. I got back on the stage with Metallica, and that by itself, just in itself, because the volume and what we did together and everything, climbed the top of that mountain, it's an invincibility. You feel like a bulletproof kind of thing when you get up there. There's like this incredible feeling of strength, and then to add to that, all the people screaming and screaming and so enthusiastic and so happy to see me and everything. I really didn't know it was going to be that powerful. I knew it was going to be fun, but I had no idea it would take me over. Like, I was absolutely taken over involuntarily. I had no defense.
Now the first press photo, all I can see is Jason Newsted punching into the air. So how important was that to come back with that kind of a visual?
That was a happenstance also, like most of this thing has been. That was the first photo session. It was not planned or anything. There happened to be a guy at the studio when we were making the metal EP, and I just decided to do that thing. I flew over something and did that to the camera, and it was a great shot, and we just went with that. So this thing was never planned. This thing was just demos that were going to be made, and just to prove to myself that I could do it. 1 year ago today, August 11th of 2012, I gave the demos to Jesus and Jesse 1 year ago.
Wow.
And it's Jesse's birthday today, his 32nd birthday. And
congratulations.
Yes, he made it another year. But so that I've been nose to the stone on this thing for 1 year solid with no coming up for air or anything. But the idea was to get it on tape and to dig it ourselves. Once Soldier Head was put on tape, a couple people heard it, and the next thing you know, people were playing it on the radio, Eddie Trunk and a couple other people. And basically by the time the Soldier Head had been out for 3 or 4 weeks, we had new agent, new managers, new label, all that kind of thing. So it wasn't really ever meant to be. I never planned on having a big band again. I never planned on going out on tour again. I never planned on, especially having a band with my name on it. That's just like way, way over there, and I never, ever, 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 ever thought about doing that. So this was something that, going back to your first question, I was absolutely pulled back into it by the force of the people and doing things that were unexpected. I'm not sure if I could have told you it a few months ago, but I do believe now this is absolute destiny. This is karmatic, because I kept chasing and chasing and chasing. That's why I get good gigs. I keep chasing it, but on this particular one, kept chasing, and now the reward is coming to me. And this is the first time in my career that I've ever started a band, ever had a band from scratch. Everything I've ever been, and I joined something that already existed as the New Engine, New Blood, or something like that. So this is the first time that I picked people to be in a band, wrote the songs from top to bottom, all the parts, drum programming, everything. My own lyrics, my own voice, front man, the whole thing. So it's appropriate that my name's on it this time, but it wasn't ever really meant to be. So obviously there's something destiny here. Yeah.
Now I think there might be a little confusion with the title of the album to actually what kind of music you're playing these days. That's another fist to the face.
Heavy metal music was the initial idea when we were putting this all together with the EP. I had pretty much spurned any kind of social media for years and years and years. I'm the analog dude. I'll always keep the one van, firmly placed in the metal world, but I always put my toe out to try other things in Echo Brain and Government Mule and Sepul and all those different kind of things, but always keep that foot right there. And as I started reaching out and seeing what was going on with social media and what could actually happen, I read about Clutch and Down and some of these cats that put out EPs on iTunes. You didn't have to fabricate the whole thing. You didn't have to make the whole disc and do a tangible thing and a tour cycle with the album and everything like I was conditioned to my whole life. Sure. Didn't have to do that. So you could put out singles, and you could put out just to see if anybody gives a shit anymore about your music or not, and that's really what it was for me, because I've been gone for a long, long time. Right. And so to see if anybody cared or anybody remembered or anything. And so we created this Facebook thing and got going on it, and the heavy metal music with the EP was going to be, one was going to be heavy, one was going to be metal, one was going to be music. The heavy one was going to have Nocturnus and Godsnake and those heavy ones. Metal was going to have Soldier Head, Long Time Dead, and those kind of quicker ones. And music was going to have Above All and the more listenable Mass Appeal type songs. Okay. And then at the end, it was going to be a culmination called heavy metal music. That was always the concept to begin with. We did the metal EP, and within, like I told you, within 2 weeks there was new management. And so they said, we're going to put our money behind this. Well, let's not do the EP thing. Let's do a full album thing. If we're going to do it, we're going to put it all in, swing, go to the radio, blah, 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 try to do a real shot at it. So I got talked into that. So we still stuck with heavy metal music, but even more importantly was, since I have played so many other styles for a long, long time, and make sure, like you said, make sure it's clear to everybody what style I'm playing this time. That's a very important thing. But also, I've played in 50 or 52 countries in my career. And I was in Metallica from age 23 to 38, and that's pretty much my life was formed by the people there and that company and that band, those managers and all that thing like that. And I was always taught to have a global outlook. Metallica was worldwide before there was World Wide Web. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, so always taught to look at it as a global assault, not just playing in California, not just playing in the United States, playing music for the world. And so no matter any of these 50 or 60 countries that you go to, heavy metal music is heavy metal music. Doesn't matter what dialect, language, color, size, shape you are. Right. Those words mean those most exact thing. There's no other words for it. And Newsted, if you know about hard rock, you know what that word means too. So those together keep it very simple and very to the point.
So can you explain how the creative juices are flowing in 2013 and your bandmates? How are you guys working together in creating heavy metal music?
So I started out planting the seeds, like we were talking about, get the demos together on my iPad with iPad with GarageBand, and put everything together and give it to Jesus and Jesse and Mikey, and then they bring it back as their, come back with their hearts and minds and talents and make it what it is now, make the music that you hear. I like to say I plant the seeds and then we harvest the fruit together. That's kind of how it's done ultimately. So it is a full collaboration. The 3 guys made the metal EP, and then the 4 guys made the heavy metal music LP, the quartet. It was always meant live-wise to be played by a quartet. All the songs were composed with first and second chair guitar parts, and from the beginning, even when we recorded as the trio, it was meant to be performed as a quartet live. And that's where we are now. So it's a full collaboration of everybody.
And you're lucky to be able to bring it live upon street dates. So talk to me about Mustaine and Gigantour and this whole experience.
It is kind of amazing that it worked out that way, that we booked the tour way back here, and then it ended up the album comes out while we're still playing some shows. And this is very much a catch-up kind of scenario we find ourselves in, because they pretty much booked me 60 shows before I had a band together. Right. I mean, they had the Newsted's playing again, well, let's go! And they already just booked all these shows, and like, oh yeah, we should get another guitar guy, and then put this all together, there's an album, and there's a tour that's already planned, So we're doing a lot of catch-up in that way. This is the last show, today, with Gigantour, and so we've been out since April, and this is a good way to put the frosting on it, I guess, go off with a headbang. I'm going to play tonight with Hell Yeah and with Megadeth and with Newsted, so I'm going to try to be the jack of all metal today. And just this has been a very cool thing because, first of all, I'll talk about Dave Mustaine. I mean, we've been friends for almost 30 years, and you don't get to have many friends for that long. And we have always had an even keel friendship. We haven't had valleys or bad vibes between us ever like that. There's always been bros, and no matter how long in between that we see each other, it's always good vibes when we see each other. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to say after all these years. I mean, just in itself, that we're still alive after everything we've been through. We're still alive, we're still laughing, we're still breathing, we still can remember the songs. I mean, that's really pretty commendable right there, just playing off of that ground right there. But still being able to kick ass and be bros, that's important too. Megadeth gave Flotsam a first chance, and I guess I'll kind of look at it. Dave gave me my first opportunity. 1985, we played our first time out of Arizona. We played in California, opening for Megadeth, Flotsam and Jetsam. Okay. So that goes a long way, man, and I'll never forget that kind of thing. So between Dave Mustaine and the Metallica guys, they kind of set me up for my dream. You know, they between those guys that were formed the original Metallica, they are the ones that are responsible for giving me my opportunity to do what I do now. So full circle with Dave, and now we're opening for his band again after all these years and still kicking ass. So that's pretty special. Also, Zach is my bro, deep. And, you know, we had a pretty wicked band for Ozzy in those days, Mike Borden and Zach and myself, and in my opinion, pretty fucking serious heavy metal band, you know. We laid down some of that old Black, look at that, we laid down some of that old Black Sabbath, you know.
Goosebumps, man.
Pretty special time. So it's good to see Zach sober. I'm so very happy about that, and he's such a good person, and one of our mega talents of our genre. You know, there's not going to be another one of him ever. So it's very special to watch him every night, cheer him on, man. When he does Stillborn and stuff, I'm doing backflips, dude. I'm just like, dude, singing every word, just blasting. And Vinny, I always get there for the Band of Brothers and the Rage song, get right in the middle of the set, because we've been bros for a long ass time too. But to cheer each other on, you know, we support each other from the side of the stage, and, you know, like when you're going, you suck, you know, and all that thing, or not, like go do a couple of moves like, dude, fuck, where'd you get that from, you old fucker? Look at you go, that much vodka the night before and you can still hit like that, dude, come on now. I mean, that's commendable shit. I mean, sweating it all out, but when he gets going on these certain songs, dude, like not just like any drums move when they're playing, but when Vinny plays and he locks it down, the whole fucking riser is going like this.
Earthquake.
You know, and it's bolted down, and it's still going like that.
So we're gonna see waves then tonight. We're gonna see waves maybe tonight.
We're gonna, yeah, I hope, yeah, maybe actually, yeah, maybe. No, it's really cool though. And my point was that after all these years, being able to support each other like that and really be, you know, like enthusiastic about it, a little bit competitive still. It keeps everybody on their toes. And we are definitely setting the bar high, opening the show. Like we put it right up there. Everybody's got to come with their game for sure.
Right.
So I think that's important, man. And only experience could get you to that place. Nothing can replace that experience. I got a lot of experience. Vinny has a lot of experience. Zach, Dave, the Daves, you know, they have a lot of experience. Nothing can replace that. That's why we have a good show here.
And speaking of experience, do you have much contact with your old bandmates? And what do you think about this new film they're releasing, Through the Never?
Metallica bandmates,
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yes.
Metallica bandmates, they have a new movie, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, big 3D IMAX film coming out in late September,
Wow.
October.
All right. Good.
Do you have any contact with the boys, though?
I just wished James happy birthday last weekend. So, old fucker, 50 years old. Joined the club now. So, you know, we are business partners for eternity, right? That's just, we've been making investments together for 30 years, and that's just something that takes place. But as far as brothers, we're closer than we've ever been because people have kind of grown up a little, well, got older. Grown up, I'm not sure. Matured. They have families. That's it. They have kids. Okay, they have kids. So it changes their perspective on things. So I don't know if anybody really grew up because we're always encouraged to kind of be kids the whole time. The fountain of youth is in heavy metal music, and so it's the kind of music that keeps you young. But they have grown up a bit as far as the keep having the kids and the perspective in that way. So looking at everything through different eyes and showing me more respect. The mutual respect thing has grown much more than it ever was before. So seeing them at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, obviously giant feather in the shiny crown, man. You know, victorious word is victory. And then the 30th anniversary shows, that was just like the next level of that, levitating across the stage, man, just floating across the stage like it was nothing, feeling so strong and victorious once again. So they'll always be my brothers, and I think we're probably closer now than we've ever been, actually. I'll always be a part of Metallica. It'll always be a part of me. Nobody can ever take that away from us, the things that we reached and all that stuff. That's bros, man, you know?
Can I go back to the beginning and what did that 6K review in Kerrang for Doomsday, what did that do to your career, and what does that album mean now?
6Ks for the Doomsday record back in the day, for and Kerrang. That was pretty much, it was really special, unexpected kind of thing that we it launched us. You know, it launched FLOTSAM and JETSAM, and so now I keep in contact with those guys still to this day, and Michael Gilbert, actually, we talked this week. He wants me. They're going to re-record "No Place for Disgrace," and so he asked me to come back, play some bass, and have a few songs on that record. I helped them with a few songs on their new record. I gave them the title of their new album. You know, this kind of stuff. So they're still my boys too in that way. I try to keep touch with everybody.
So what's left to conquer?
Let's see. Well, I think I've played, like I said, I played in 50 countries, and Metallica's played in 54 or 55, so I'm behind by a couple, which is not good. And I want to make sure that I can play everywhere they do. That's really what's important to me. It really is. That's the only thing that I'm envious about with those guys, or if we're talking about any kind of regrets or whatever, is not being able to go to the places they get to first. China, United Arab Emirates, that's a mouthful, and India, you know, those kind of things. I want to get to those places, but I think there's probably 80 or 85 places you can comfortably and logistically and electrically and all that kind of thing play westernized rock and roll music. So that's still my quest, the same as it was from Flotsam and Jetsam, to take the music to whoever will accept our style of music. Ambassador of heavy metal music, you know, I'd like to play in 80 countries. That's my quest, so we got a few more to conquer.
Well, congratulations on bringing heavy metal music back to the kids. Us kids, man.
Nice, us kids. I like that, kids forever, right? I know that we're not the only ones playing heavy metal music and, you know, that kind of thing, and it's not my, it's not like a chip on the shoulder or some kind of gauntlet thrown down or whatever like that. It was just a simple statement of what you're going to get. You know, your bang for the buck, head bang for the buck type of thing. There are many great bands out there, Mastodon and Gojira and The Sword and Red Fang and Hell Yeah, Godsmack. You know, these bands that are really, really good and still flying the flag true for heavy metal. So we all play heavy metal music, but I just want to make sure everybody remembers where it comes from, because these influences that are shown very plainly on my sleeves on this record, Motorhead, Judas Priest, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Those are very important that we remember where this comes from. So the new generations that are seeing this music now, that's one thing. If you last in it long enough, you can see generation after generation after generation of listener forming the metal family now that comes to make it up and to enjoy it. So we've traveled around these last 5 or 6 weeks in about 17 countries that we've played, and it's been a long time since I've been out with the people. What the metal family has grown into, and my opinion that the world is in better shape than I thought it was going to be when I got out there. So, and especially the metal world is so alive and well, makes me feel good and gives me hope. And I think everybody should be very proud of what we've grown this thing into, the invincible army.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.